Nawaz, good to have you back.
Good to be back, Annie. Thank you.
So, while talking about your personal experiences, you have kind of, told us how exercise was something that you ensured was a little regimented in the case of your father. And with mum, while it may not have been right away, but slowly you could warm her up to the idea. And there were certain exercises that you made them do, basis the cancers that they were affected with, and also basis their state of mind and body. They have to have that kind of energy to even exercise. So, in your personal experience, from the time it was detected to the healing, it is a long drawn process. First of all, how did you prepare yourself to actually, help them fight this? Because you were also fighting it alongside.
I think sometimes you just get thrown into the water and you sink or swim. There's no time to think. It was honestly one of those situations. There's ample time before and after to sit down and cry over it, but that is just not the time. You're fighting the battle. You're fighting the war of your life, actually. Yeah. So it's a lot to do with that. When it came to exercises, the issue with chemo is that it kills both the good and the bad cells.
Right.
Which means that you really have to build up from nothing. And that is all about food, the right food. That is all about exercise. It is all about the muscles. The cancers, because of the different chemo drugs that you may be taking, you would have certain side effects. So, for example, one of the chemo drugs that my father was taking causes what is commonly known as a foot drop. Now, when the foot drops, the front part of the foot drops and you're not able to pick it up as you naturally would when you're walking, you cannot even walk straight.
Right.
You shuffle, you fall. There's no question of driving, like how you press the accelerator and you move, etc. You press the brake. There's no question of even doing that. Now, that's supposed to be a permanent situation. It doesn't improve. And I was like, nope, I'm not accepted. I will improve it. And I've totally improved it for him. He's totally fine. Wow. So exercise does a lot of that. And it's really, really important. That's just one example. There are many other things. But these are so critical. I mean, a locomotor skill, walking, driving, these are your day-to-day things.
So I believe exercise, despite the age factor, has helped your muscles regrow or become, re-strong or re-strengthen itself. So that is possible, right? This is breaking any kind of myth we had about or misunderstanding we had about the fact that exercise at a certain age or beyond a certain age, beyond 60 or 70, is just not possible to heal anybody's body.
So the issue is that when you're young, you can take your body for granted. As they say, Mother Nature giveth, but Father Time taketh away. But the body you have, the health you have at a later stage is really what you worked for and really what you merit or you don't. Sure. The older you are, the more you need exercise in your life. Everything's failing and giving way.
Right.
The younger you are, it's not. It's already God-given. You kind of take it for granted. So it serves a much greater purpose as you get older, because there's a lot you can do for every single health issue that you have. There's a whole lot you can do, a specific exercise to make sure that you counter that.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think you have been one of the only fitness gurus in the country I know who focuses on senior citizens' health through exercise. So now going back to cancer prevention, or going back to, the experience you've had, and exercise helped you in a big way. There's also one mention you did of how chemotherapy and radiation just kills all the good and the bad cells. So exercise does help, but there's also changes you do, which you did, I think, in the case again of your parents too, when it comes to the kind of intake they did of food. Was it again challenging to convince them to change their ways, because they have been doing a certain way, or they have been having a certain way of having food, to the taste, palate, and so on and so forth? How did you handle that?
In the same fashion as the exercise bit of it, my father is very, very disciplined and regimented and will do exactly to the T that he's supposed to. He's just such a pleasure to deal with in that sense. He's not the sort who'll be sneaking around behind my back trying to get into the fridge or get some chocolate out or something like that. No. And my mother, at the point, no, she was very, very concerned and very detailed about it all. But having come away from that time, well, it's gone a bit more back to normal. So yes, one has all sorts of people and situations.
Right. What are some of the very crucial, pillars that one must rely on, especially if you have a situation like cancer at home, or, anyone what are some of the crucial pillars that one must look into to ensure there is healing that'll happen?
So, you have to understand that every cancer is very different. Some have a reasonably good prognosis and others do not. So, in the case of my parents, I was told that, hey, nobody wants to have cancer, but if you're going to have cancer, this is one of the better types to have because the prognosis is good.
Okay.
It's a 50-50 chance. It's a good prognosis. Now, that was, in their case, it was NHL, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma of different types. In my father's case, it was stage 4, caught at the last stage both times around. Mother at a slightly earlier stage. Some of the things which become really important is a tumor is only the symptom of your lifestyle and anger and bitterness and many other things you're holding on to, things that have gone wrong. You don't want the Band-Aid therapy that's happening with the chemo fast and the radiation or the surgery, whatever it is at that point. But if you don't get to the root of it, you're in trouble. Lots of water. With your water, you never want to have cold water. You never want to pull it out of the freezer. You never want to pull a bottle of water out of your car.
Right.
With the plastic mix out there, you have a whole dioxin release, which in the water, which is going to be cancerous. You want to be a little careful of antiperspirants, anything that's going to block your sweat glands. Sweat is a way of the body getting rid of its toxins and releasing a lot of that negativity. And when you block that, breast cancers, etc., have been linked to, parabens in antiperspirants along with aluminium. You want these to be, so ideally deodorants are better, which are specifically paraben-free, aluminium-free. You want to make sure that you're not reheating oil in cooking.
Right.
That's carcinogenic again. And you want to increase your antioxidants in your food. So, for instance, berries are very high. Toxin removal, flush. Berries are very high in that. And clearing what's in the head, which we also spoke of previously, is the most important thing. Head and the heart is the most important thing.
Right. So, Nawaz, senior citizens, I remember from the time I met you, you were very focused about senior citizens. You have regimented routines for senior citizens. There are many who come to you. It's not just about the cancer and how you help your parents fight it, but it's about every other senior individual who crosses 50, who crosses 55 and 60 and feel that they don't have the need to exercise and it's all done. What do you have to say to this kind of a mindset?
So the older you get, the more the body tends to fail you.
Right.
And natural processes of aging, even if you don't categorically have an issue, natural processes of aging include, a quivering in the hands, a loss of balance, control, weakening of eyesight, weakening of the hearing, issues with regard to your digestion, urinary incontinence, bowel, bladder control, etc. Knee problems, hip problems, back problems. Now, all of these can be prevented and cured. We do a lot of rehab work with even single exercises, and very immediately so. They're hugely effective. You need them more than when you were much younger. It is very important to make sure that things are switched up because each person is individual, which means that it has to be bespoke depending on your specific condition, your previous engagement with exercise, experience with exercise, your fitness level, your goals, even your likes and dislikes. Everything has to be bespoke, made for you and constantly changed up as per your changing requirement, because as you improve and you improve very quickly, you need the next level or you kind of stagnate. So yes, it's a fabulous, fascinating, very gratifying process, which I am very passionate about.
Absolutely. And for more on this, of course, you should follow Body Art Fitness Studio. This is Nawaz Modi Singhania, founder and director of Body Art Fitness Studio with more than 27 years of experience under her belt. Thank you so much for your time in helping us understand exercise, diet, lifestyle, everything so much better.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from Radio 1.